1 minute ago, Birmingham exploded into chaos, streets filled with smoke, sirens blaring, and ordinary citizens caught in the middle of a political firestorm. As the UK watches in disbelief, Nigel Farage has unleashed a verbal onslaught on Keir Starmer, accusing him of failing the people at a moment when the nation needs leadership the most. Tensions are soaring, emotions are running high, and the question on everyone's mind is simple. How did Britain get to this breaking point so quickly? What started as a local disturbance has now escalated into a nationwide uproar, and the fallout could shake the very core of British politics. Birmingham, one of the UK's largest cities, has never seen chaos like this. Fires blaze in the city centre, smoke rising into the sky as hundreds of people flood the streets, their anger and frustration echoing through every corner of the metropolis. Shops are shuttered, traffic comes to a standstill, and the sound of sirens fills the air non-stop. But while the public grapples with fear and confusion, the political landscape has erupted with even greater intensity. Nigel Farage, the outspoken former MP and political provocateur, has seized this moment to launch a scathing attack on Prime Minister Keir Starmer. In a statement that has sent shockwaves across the nation, Farage accused Starmer of abandoning his duties at a critical moment, calling him weak and ineffective while the streets of Birmingham burned. The timing of Farage's remarks could not have been more explosive. Within hours, the UK's major news outlets were flooded with images and reports of unrest, and social media erupted into a frenzy. Citizens shared photos of overturned vehicles, broken windows, and confrontations between civilians and law enforcement, while hashtags demanding Starmer's resignation began trending nationwide. Political analysts are already calling this a defining moment in modern British politics, suggesting that Starmer's leadership is facing its toughest test yet. Every statement from the Prime Minister's office now carries the weight of the nation's fear, and every public appearance is scrutinised under a microscope. Farage, however, shows no signs of backing down. Known for his fiery rhetoric and unapologetic approach, he has capitalised on the public's outrage, painting Starmer as a leader who is both disconnected from ordinary citizens and incapable of handling crises. His words resonate with many who feel abandoned and unheard, and they are spreading like wildfire across online platforms, news broadcasts, and political forums. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister remains largely silent, a calculated move some see as prudent, while others interpret it as a dangerous lack of leadership. On the streets, the chaos continues to unfold. Emergency services struggle to maintain control as riots flare in different parts of the city, fueled by both anger at social conditions and the political turbulence ignited by Farage's attacks. Ordinary citizens are caught in the crossfire, unsure who to trust, or how to stay safe. Business owners watch helplessly as their livelihoods hang in the balance, and communities that once felt secure now face uncertainty and fear. The tension is palpable, the air thick with uncertainty, and the sense of a nation on edge has never been stronger. Political commentators warn that this is more than just a local incident. Birmingham has become the epicentre of a nationwide crisis, one that exposes deep divides within British society. Farage's confrontation with Starmer symbolises a broader struggle, a clash between populist outrage and governmental authority. As the public looks on, the question remains, will Starmer rise to the challenge, or will this be remembered as the moment when his leadership faltered under pressure? The streets of Birmingham are screaming answers, and the eyes of the world are watching every move, every statement, every reaction. As the dust begins to settle from the initial chaos in Birmingham, the true scale of the crisis is becoming chillingly clear. Behind the smoke and sirens lies a network of political tension and public outrage that has been quietly building for months, and now it has erupted all at once. Farage's attack on Starmer has ignited more than just political debate. It has exposed deep fractures in British society, revealing long-simmering resentments, failures in governance, and a population increasingly distrustful of those in power. Farage, ever the master of timing, has turned this unrest into a strategic weapon, forcing Starmer into a defensive position and placing the Prime Minister under unprecedented scrutiny. Within hours, the fallout was visible everywhere. Social media platforms became battlegrounds with heated debates dividing friends, families, and entire communities. Every clip of the riots, every image of burning streets, and every statement from Farage or Starmer became a symbol of a nation at war with itself. Analysts now point out that Farage's narrative is carefully crafted. He is not merely criticising Starmer, he is framing the Prime Minister as the face of a government that is out of touch, incompetent and unable to protect ordinary citizens. This narrative resonates powerfully in the current climate of uncertainty, where fears of economic instability, rising crime and social unrest have already left the public anxious and vulnerable. Meanwhile, inside the corridors of power, whispers of dissent are growing louder. Senior government officials, previously loyal to Starmer, are now questioning his ability to lead. Some worry that his silence in the face of mounting chaos is being interpreted as weakness, while others see the situation as a rare opportunity to consolidate influence or push alternative policies. Leaked reports suggest internal meetings have become tense and confrontational, with aides and advisors scrambling to contain both the public relations disaster and the deeper political damage. For many, the unfolding events have revealed that what appeared to be a stable administration was in reality a house of cards vulnerable to pressure and exposure. Farage's influence extends far beyond his public statements. Political strategists note that he has successfully tapped into a network of journalists, commentators, and social media influencers to amplify his message. By controlling the narrative, he is shaping how millions perceive the riots, Starmer's leadership, and the government's response. Each carefully worded tweet, every explosive interview, and every fiery speech adds layers to a story of incompetence and failure that the public can see and feel. Even those who might normally oppose Farage find themselves questioning Starmer's ability to maintain order, illustrating the sheer power of perception in times of crisis. On the ground in Birmingham, the truth is equally unsettling. While political arguments dominate headlines, ordinary citizens are living the consequences. Families trapped in their homes, commuters blocked by fires and debris, and local business owners facing destruction all highlight the real cost behind the political theatre. Hidden truths are emerging, law enforcement resources are stretched to the limit, local councils struggle to respond, and coordination between agencies has faltered in critical moments. These gaps are not just logistical, they are a reflection of systemic failures that until now had remained largely invisible to the public eye. As the night deepens, questions loom larger than ever. How far will Farage push this confrontation? Can Starmer regain control over a narrative spiralling beyond his grasp? And most importantly, what does this turmoil say about the state of Britain itself, a nation balancing on the edge between public outrage and political accountability? The fallout is only beginning, and beneath the headlines, the hidden truths continue to emerge, vulnerabilities, mistakes, and miscalculations that may well define the coming weeks of British politics. As dawn breaks over Birmingham, the city bears the visible scars of a night that will be remembered for years. Streets littered with debris, burned out vehicles, and shattered windows tell a story of chaos. But the reactions of the people and the nation reveal an even deeper crisis. Social media continues to explode, with videos, photos and eyewitness accounts spreading across the UK at lightning speed. Ordinary citizens, politicians and commentators alike are weighing in, each interpretation shaping the narrative in a way that will define public perception of both Farage and Starmer for weeks, if not months, to come. The immediate aftermath has revealed the intensity of public frustration. Many see the riots not merely as isolated violence, but as a symbol of systemic neglect, a nation pushed to its limits by economic pressures, political indecision, and a lack of trust in leadership. Farage's critics accuse him of exploiting tragedy for political gain, but his supporters insist he is simply exposing uncomfortable truths about Starmer's leadership. The divide is stark, and the polarisation is now more visible than ever. Heated debates rage online and offline, creating a charged atmosphere where facts, opinions and rumours intermingle, making it nearly impossible to separate reality from political theatre. Government responses, or the lack thereof, have fuelled public scrutiny. Starmer, still largely silent in the immediate aftermath, faces mounting pressure to act decisively. Critics argue that hesitation has cost him credibility, while supporters hope that strategic restraint will allow for a measured response. In contrast, Farage has remained vocal, holding interviews, releasing statements, and framing the narrative as one of citizen betrayal and governmental failure. His presence dominates the conversation, and for many in the UK, it is impossible to ignore his relentless critique. The optics of this situation are shaping public sentiment at a staggering pace, leaving Starmer in a position where every word, gesture and decision is under intense examination. On the streets, the human impact is undeniable. Families are left grappling with destruction and uncertainty. Shop owners tally the cost of property damage, and emergency services continue to operate under extreme pressure. These stories of real suffering resonate far beyond Birmingham, capturing the attention of communities across the UK. The images of chaos have struck a chord, stirring emotions and igniting debate about accountability, leadership and justice. Citizens who once felt secure now question not only the capabilities of their leaders, but the very stability of their environment. Fear, anger and frustration mix with a thirst for answers, creating a volatile social climate that could influence future political events. Meanwhile, analysts are warning that the long-term consequences of this night could be profound. Political reputations hang in the balance, public trust is being tested, and the fallout may reshape British politics in ways no one fully anticipates. Starmer's leadership is now under a microscope, and Farage has positioned himself as the figure amplifying public outrage, turning every misstep into a national conversation. As the UK watches Birmingham streets transform from chaos to clean-up, the question is no longer just who is right or wrong. It is whether the nation can recover from this collective shock and whether political accountability will follow in its wake. In homes, offices and public spaces across the country, the public reaction is palpable. Citizens are demanding answers, calling for immediate reforms and questioning the effectiveness of law enforcement and political leadership. Media outlets continue to dissect every statement and development, while social platforms buzz with commentary, memes and heated arguments. The tension between Farage and Starmer is no longer just a political clash. It has become a cultural moment, a reflection of deeper anxieties gripping the UK. The aftermath is not simply measured in broken streets and damaged property, but in the trust, fear and anger that now permeate British society. As night falls again over Birmingham, the city is quieter, but the echoes of the riots and the political storm they have unleashed continue to reverberate. For Starmer, the challenge is clear: regain public confidence before the momentum shifts irreversibly. For Farage, the moment is one of validation, reinforcing his position as a relentless voice against a leadership many perceive as failing. And for the citizens of the UK, the question remains: what does the future hold when chaos meets politics and when outrage finds its loudest megaphone in a figure like Farage? The answer will unfold in the coming days. But one thing is certain: the events of this night have forever changed the conversation in British politics, leaving a nation watching, waiting, and questioning every move of its leaders.